This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Good evening. Conflict continues tonight over the use of the controversial poison 1080, with farmers saying it's only used as a last resort and a ban could have devastating impacts. But opponents say the poison is an inhumane method of pest control that shouldn't be used.
Andrew is a dairy and cropping farmer from Tasmania's northeast. In recent years, browsing animals have been a significant financial burden to his property. Following calls for 1080 poison to be banned, he says this change could have devastating consequences.
We've actually reduced our use of 1080 massively in the last 10 years and it's just one of those last resort options. Documents
reveal the legal poison was used 30 times last financial year, but numbers are already looking to increase in 2018. Andrew says he tries to limit his use of the product.
Shooting and fencing, they do quite a good job, but it's not an answer totally. The game still get in. They dig holes under fences frequently.
Critics say 1080 is inhumane and tarnishes Tasmania's clean, green image.
It's such a hideous poison that has attracted so much opposition over many years. So many other jurisdictions have banned it, and yet Tasmania is one that continues to maintain its use.
To use 1080, landholders must prove that other pest management strategies have already been tested, with permits only issued if fencing and shooting has not been effective.
Yeah, the controls that are in place now are very strict compared to what it used to be years ago. We use it very responsibly.
The government is maintaining that until a viable, safe and cost-effective option becomes available, they will not introduce a ban. Michelle Wisby, Southern Cross News.
In the wake of devastating floods which tore through southern Tasmania 2 weeks ago, the Derwent Valley community is banding together to assist those whose livelihoods have been shattered. A community event today offering advice to those left with no other option than to rebuild.
This Molesworth family story is one of hundreds, today collecting natives in an effort to re-establish vegetation destroyed in the recent floods.
We woke up with white water all around us in the night, but we've lost a lot of vegetation, and our creek bed's very eroded and changed.
A trail of destruction flowed through the south of Tasmania during the recent catastrophic storm. Kimbra and her partner have spent years making a campsite for visitors on their property. Their hard work washed away.
I think we might have a slight change of direction, but we have our land and we have our lives, so we'll do what we can do.
Huge piles and racks of debris, river systems changing quite completely. We've had some projects that we've been running that have been, all the re-veg is just totally gone.
The Derwent Valley Council today hosting a recovery expo for those impacted by the recent weather event. Services on hand to offer support and advice.
This is a very close-knit community and they're at a loss. You see young and older couples in tears for the loss and don't know where to go and what to do.
Despite natural disaster relief funding announced by the federal government, the Mayor says the assistance doesn't go far enough, calling for the means testing required for a grant to be scrapped.
They've been categorised. No, you're over 35,000. Sorry, we can't help you. You're not entitled. I think that's appalling, really.
The federal and state government says they're working together to determine whether more assistance needs to be offered. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Volunteers who responded to the June 2016 floods have been awarded for their bravery. The Tasmania Fire Service's Chief Officers Award was presented to the Latrobe Volunteer Fire Brigade and the Mersey SES. One volunteer recalling the sheer power and force of the floodwater.
The boys drove past one of the houses and the bow wave broke the door down on the front door. So that's when they said, well, yeah, listen, we're not going back in anymore. That's it. So yeah, that really got to us, that one.
There's always this can-do attitude. You just get in there and do what has to be done.
The floods killed 3 people and caused nearly $200 million in damage. Family members of those who fought in the Battle of Crete have today gathered to remember their loved ones. Wreaths were laid in Hobart to commemorate the 77th anniversary of the conflict, which was fought during the Second World War. The battle saw Australian and Greek troops fight alongside one another to save the small island.
A lot of servicemen attend these functions. There were were in Greece during the Second World War. Unfortunately, a lot of those people are no longer with us, but this is all about remembering them.
The ceremony was held as part of one of many held across Australia to mark the occasion.
In the TSL, Sonny Whiting and Mitch Thorpe have delivered plenty of pain for North Hobart. The Blues destroying the D's by more than 100 points. North Launceston took down the Tigers by 5 goals, while Lauderdale came from behind to upset Glenorchy by 33 points. Tempers flared between two teams on the brink of the top 4. Glenorchy, fresh off a bye, had all of the early momentum. Jay Bowden, the key goal sneak, booting 3 majors for the match. Adam Roberts joined in the action with this clean running goal. But with its finals hopes fading, Lauderdale showed plenty of courage and class. Northern Territory import Tim Mosquito kick-started the Bombers' engine, with his side booting 10 goals to 4 in the second half to run away with the game. The 33-point upset is Lauderdale's 3rd win for the year. North Hobart ran out to adoring young fans, but there wasn't much to cheer about as the struggling side endured a drubbing at the hands of Launceston. Sonny Whiting led the way with 6 goals for the day. Mitch Thorpe charged head first into the contest and kicked 5 majors of his own. Between them, Whiting and Thorpe outscored the entire Demons outfit, the Blues steamrolling the home side by 107 points. And in a game many expected to be a walkover, the Tigers responded to last week's loss with a competitive performance against the top team. The Northern Bombers never gave up the lead, but the Tigers kept them to their 2nd narrowest winning margin for the season. The final score, North Launceston 90, the Tigers 60. Craig Moller has inspired the Hobart Chargers to a crucial win over Ballarat last night. Moller scored a colossal 43 points to drag the Chargers over the line. It didn't take long for Zach White to lift the roof with a slam dunk. A hint at what was to come in an entertaining contest at the deck. Leading the charge, Craig Moller shooting 43 points in a standout showing. But Ballarat was no walkover, the visitors keeping ahead of the Chargers for most of the game. But Hobart really fired in the final period to win with a 9-point margin. Hobart 95, Ballarat 86. Earlier, the Chargers' women's side blew an 11-point lead before half-time to eventually go down by 5. The Chargers faded badly in the 3rd period to let the Rush take full control of the contest. Brittany Smart inspired a late comeback, weaving through traffic to set up a 3-pointer, before sending home one of her own. But it was too late for the home side, its 4-game winning streak coming to an end. And finally, footy fans packed out Rocherley Oval today for the Northern Tasmanian Football Association's Aboriginal round. A cultural display kicked off proceedings before triple premiership player Darragh White laced up his boots for the home side.
They're willing to listen and learn, which is fantastic, and hopefully I can give them some advice and show them the way.
The former Brisbane Lions player booted 7 goals for the day. It was enough to get the side over the line, with Rocherley thrashing Deloraine by 90 points.
Good evening. A cloudy day across the north and far south, dry and sunny elsewhere. Hobart and Burnie a top of 14, Launceston 13, Devonport a top of 13 degrees also. The state's top was 16 degrees at Lyweenie and King Island. Flinders and Grove reached 15 today. St Helens and Strahan 14, 13 at Smithton, Lowhead, Maria Island and Medina. Ooze -2 overnight, up to 11 degrees today. A look at the close-up now, and low-level cloud across the north and far south, clear elsewhere. To the satellite, and low cloud along the coast of the Queensland, mid to high-level cloud moving across central WA, South Australia, Western Victoria and New South Wales. Tomorrow, high will move into the Tasman Sea, allowing a northerly wind flow to develop over Tasmania and Victoria. A cold front moves over southwest WA. Coastal waters and north to northeasterly winds at 10 to 20 knots, reaching 25 knots about the west, swells to 2.5 metres. No warnings, but it will be a frosty start for parts of the Midlands, East Coast, Upper Derwent and southeast. Onto the forecast now. Hobart partly cloudy and 16, Richmond 17, Ooze partly cloudy and 14. Launceston fine and 16, a cloudy day for Devonport, cloudy also for Deloraine 14 degrees there. Burnie a cloudy 16, Strahan 17. 17, Curry a late shower, a high of 18. A partly cloudy day on the way for St Helens 17, a mostly sunny day for Swansea, Whitemark 17 the top also. Looking ahead to Monday, showers in the north and west, a chance of showers elsewhere. Tuesday, rain in the west extending statewide in the morning and then easing to showers later on in the day. And finally Wednesday, showers developing in the west in the afternoon, then extending statewide in the evening. Snow falling to around 700 metres in the south during the evening. Capital cities now, and showers on the way for Perth tomorrow 21. Rain on the way for Adelaide 20, a sunny day for Sydney 22. Morning frost for Canberra 19, Melbourne a mostly cloudy day, a top of 20 degrees. And right now it's 7 degrees in Hobart, Launceston partly cloudy and 9, Devonport clear and 9. Rach, that's the weather.
Thanks, Laura. Looks like a nice night for bonfire night and crackers. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Good night.